I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Friday, October the 9th, 2015. Violent attacks continued today in Israel. Most recently, late this afternoon, 6 Israelis were lightly injured, among them 2 children, when Palestinians threw rocks at the vehicle they were traveling in the West Bank between Shiloh and Ma'ale Leboneh. They were treated at the scene by Magen David Adom paramedics. In Afula this afternoon, a female terrorist tried to stab an Israeli security guard in the city's central bus station. 2 border police officers who saw the incident called several times for the woman to stop and put down her weapon. She refused. Then Israel police arrived and also ordered the woman to drop the knife. When she still refused, they shot at her lower body. The Palestinian woman was taken to the hospital and treated for moderate wounds. Her name has not yet been released, but she is said to be a resident of Nazareth. Last night, also in Afula, a 21-year-old IDF soldier was wounded by a Palestinian named by the Shin Bet as 20-year-old Tarak Yahya from the West Bank Arab village of Jenin. Bystanders were able to grab Yahya after the attack and hold him down until police arrived. And earlier today, a Palestinian teenager stabbed an Israeli teenager on Shmuel Hanavi Street in Jerusalem. The attacker was later apprehended by police. Initial reports say he is 18 years old and from Hebron. The victim is said to be 15 or 16. He is in stable condition after sustaining wounds to his upper body. And in the West Bank today, a Palestinian stabbed an Israeli police officer and tried to grab his weapon. The terrorist was shot and killed by fellow officers. The 47-year-old officer was lightly injured and taken to the hospital. Also this morning, a Jewish Israeli teenager stabbed 3 Bedouins in Dimona. One of them was in critical condition, 2 in moderate. The attack is believed to have been nationalistically motivated. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu strongly condemned the attack. He said Israel is a state of law and order and vowed to bring justice to anyone using violence and breaking the law from any side. Last night, the Prime Minister held a press conference to address the current wave of terror attacks, where he also addressed his critics on the right, who have called for more settlement building in response to the terror. Netanyahu said that settlement construction announcements now would only harm international support for the measures Israel needs to take against terror and divert attention from that battle. The Prime Minister also said that now was the time for unity and for the opposition to join and create a wide government. But he said the decision on whether to join the government is in the hands of the opposition. They have to decide what they want. IDF soldiers today clashed with around 200 Palestinians at the border fence in northern Gaza, close to Kibbutz Nachal Oz. The rioters threw rocks and rolled burning tires towards the Israeli troops. In the confrontation, the soldiers opened fire as the crowd continued to approach the buffer zone. 5 Palestinians were reportedly killed and 16 injured. An Israeli military spokeswoman said the soldiers fired at the main instigators in order to halt their advance and disperse the riot. She said the soldiers first fired in the air, which did not stop the rioters, and then soldiers fired at the legs of the rioters, hitting 5 of them. Several other violent clashes were also reported in the area. Jewish organizations here in the U.S., meanwhile, continue to express their concern over the surge in terror in Israel. National Director of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, said it is incumbent on all Israeli, Palestinian, and the international community to work toward preventing a further escalation of violence and incitement and take steps to restore security, calm, and public confidence. Greenblatt urged Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas to make every effort to quell tensions and remain publicly committed to nonviolence. Executive Director of the American Jewish Committee, David Harris, said the Palestinian Authority's failure to condemn the terror attacks was essentially a sanctioning of terror. Harris referred to Netanyahu's recent speech at the United Nations and his appeal to Abbas to return to the negotiating table. Harris said instead, quote, the PA chooses to stoke the flames of violence. He said this failure by the PA to act is morally inexcusable and should lead the international community to confront rather than coddle Abbas. Either he is or is not a partner for peace, Harris said. Trying to have it both ways just won't wash. And that's the JBS News Update for Friday, October the 9th, 2015. Remember, live Shabbat services are coming up at 6 o'clock tonight from New York City's Central Synagogue. I'm Teisha Bader. Shabbat Shalom.